What's happening, everyone? It's been a while, so this will be the update for March. I've been really busy, actually building a ton of stuff. So I'll just show you what I've been working on. So what you see here is a SN3. It is a RailMaster kit, and it is the Bombardier MLW wide cab. So this one's going to be painted in the USG, which is basically the drywall company. They have the gypsum mine out in the desert. I've been wanting to build one of these when I was doing SN3 for a really long time. Nobody makes it. The closest thing you can get is a precision scale kit, which are way overpriced and don't have the cab, and you just have to go spend a bunch of money on it. So this one I bought actually from a guy here. These are made in New Zealand, and I was going to order one, and he was back ordered for a while. So I found a guy actually here. He's had one, so started building it. These all pewter kit. It's actually been a really challenging kit, but finally getting it in the final stages. One thing that's really unique about the USG engines is they had these open compartments. So they just like ripped the top off here through the bare motor, and then they just ripped the winterization hatch off and just left a bare fan out there. So in order to model these, you've got to cut all this out, which I did, cut this out. The fan I made on the laser, and then that's actually an acrylic block that I cut down so it looks like ducting. And then this is just acrylic that I cut and then just kind of mocked up, kind of a dummy motor, because these were a 6-cylinder Alco. And I just have this taped in here right now. But it did come with a ready-to-run chassis, but it didn't have flywheels or these couplings. It was just straight shaft with rubber hose in between, so I got rid of that. This is just temporary because I'm actually going to put sound and a keep alive in it, but this is just temporary decoder to test it out to make sure it doesn't short or anything. But it's a Northwest short-line motor. It runs really well. It's a little noisy, probably just because it's a kind of an open gearbox, but so I probably got, I got a ton of hours into this already, but still got a few more. And then I'm actually made the roof here, because you actually have to make this roof yourself. They give you the brass, which was all bent up, so I went and bought more brass and then made this. And then did it like,
please charge now.
Stupid speaker scared me. But I made it just like an Athearn so that it's magnetic. That way you can still get to the interior, and then you can also do the windows and everything afterward. So this should be a week or two, should get it done. I'm still debating. I have some grills, because these rear grills are supposed to be open, but they're like horizontal slats, which just trying to make them would be impossible. I found these. They're actually HO scale. So I'm thinking I could possibly cut that out and use these in place. Not 100%, but I think it would look better than just blocked off area. So tell me what you guys think. I'm still kind of leaning towards going this route, so I bought 2 sets of these and then just build a frame around it, and I think it would look good in there. That way at least it's open, not closed off. But still got to do all the handrails, all that. So there's still a ton of work. I still have to do all the trucks. So yeah, got quite a few more hours into this. But yeah, this loco is the real oddballs locomotive, so that's why I really like it. And then you can see I'm going to make my own decals for it. So I'm just trying to figure out which to get the sizing down. So I'll go ahead and make those. So the next thing I have here is I actually got a ton of free stuff through an estate that a friend got through like another friend, and you know, one of those. But in it were just tons of figures. I mean, there's probably 500 people that I have, all Woodland Scenics and Prizer. Also in it were these Tomar crossing gates, and these are actually the ones that are motorized. So you just use a tortoise switch machine with these super fine cables and tubes. If anybody's ever done one of these, it is a total pain. So here's a switch machine, and then here's an adapter plate, and these little tiny lines. There's a metal wire in there, and that's the sheath. And then I'm actually using these cheap eBay flashers. And then these are just the solder strips to try and clean everything up. I mean, it's still going to be a mess, but they work. So I just have it on a manual switch right here. I'm probably going to leave it this way because I don't really, when I'm out here running, a lot of times I'll just have no sound, and I don't need this thing constantly going and cycling. The other thing I got in that estate was this kit. It's a Hydrocal or Hydrocast or whatever you call it, and it's a downtown deco. So this was meant to be in like a 40s type scene, but I painted it to what I think, say, like a modern business would look if it was still around. Made some signs and stuff for it, put the light there, and actually made the pawn shop sign so it was illuminated. Came out all right. And then just put all the figures here, and then just did the parking lot over here. Still got to get to over there. I actually bought the wood for it, and then I ended up using it for something else. The other thing I did was I went and got seats and did interiors. So these now have interiors, and I used a bunch of the people from those. I also did the Taco Bell as well. I don't know how well this is going to open up. You can see in the Taco Bell. So I made it fairly detailed, just, you know, enough so that when you look through the windows, you see something instead of nothing. The other thing I got in that estate is 2 packs of these. So this is actually going to go over, I think, to that other intersection. And then I had the other ones that I set up over here. Just a nice little detail. And then you can see just all the people that I've added everywhere, on the inside and outside. And I've never been into like putting people everywhere, but after I put them in, it really, I think it brings the whole scenes together. The other thing I got were these lights. These are more of like a 40s, 50s, or even German lights. I was going to put yard lights in here anyways, so I just put them in here for now. I mean, they were free, so. And then I also got this front end loader. I think it's a Norscot. So I was going to weather that up. And that was, again, in this state. Like I said before, there's just so many of these things I got out of it. So here's just a portion of the people that I got. I threw away a lot of the boxes, so there actually was a lot more. The other thing is I got all my SN3 track. So I got code 70, code 55. I originally was sent code 55 by mistake. I started using it just because I didn't think that code 70 was going to be available for a while. Turns out it was available. So I did some track up here. See, it connects over here. So this is code 55. These are code 70 switches that I built back to code 55. And then, oh yeah, I also built the layout here for the SN3 extension. That wasn't in the last video. So it goes all the way to here. It's going to continue along and then cross over with a removable bridge, just like the other side. But but I just wanted to get the track set up, and then I'll continue on. And then part of that is I had to do this cable for support, and that just goes up to the ceiling. Just because I didn't want to have to do like a support going underneath, because that would get into the way of the other my workbench or the other layout. So this is all now going to be code 70 through here all the way around, and then I'll probably do the sub yards and all that in code 55. So I'm actually going to have a ton of extra track, which is good because SN3 stuff is hit and miss. Either it's feast or famine. So I figured I'd buy a bunch of track and keep it for later. So this area is going to depict Chama. So this is actually going to be the warehouse that goes there at Chama. This is the sand house. So this will be here. There'll be the coaling tower and then the water tower over here. Over here is going to be the Chama station. PBL makes that, so I'm probably going to buy that. Worst comes to worst, I'll build it, but I'd rather not. And then I'll have some of the other sub buildings. And I've mentioned in my other videos, this is going to be modern day Chama, so this is going to be present day. So that's why there's a whole mixture of everything on the layout here. So I figured I'd do a different take on it. And one of the other things I'm going to do too is I'm going to build a platform, not as high as this, probably half the height of this platform here, and then just have it rolling. That way when I'm running trains up here, you're at kind of a normal height, because it is kind of, I mean, I'm tall, but I can still see it, but not very well. So I think another foot would add out to be the right size. Then one of the other things I did where I added lights to the underside of here, because as soon as I built this extension, it was completely dark in here. You couldn't see anything. So these are just regular 120 boxes all wired together with Romex. And then these are 100-watt daylight LEDs. And then I built these just little shields here because when I'm sitting down at the desk, the glare is really bad. So, and I'm going to have the fascia come all the way down so you won't see this. Or even if it comes down to here, just a little bit of the black sticking out, it's not going to really be noticeable. I still got to add probably one more over here. But what's nice about it is just cut the Romex, splice in a new box, and good to go. So that's pretty much it. The only other thing I did, I failed to mention, you may have noticed over here, is this protective thing, which I already broke, so I got to re-glue it. So this was to protect all these gates from when I'm putting it in or people walking by, just because when you start looking at this, there's a ton of money sitting right here, and I'm always out here or people walking by, so I just wanted to protect all of the stuff here. So other than that, I'll show you another little scene that I did. So I got this Jeep as part of that. So I stuck it in there, and then there was a hobo kit is what they called it. So I made a little campfire just to add just a little more details to the layout. But other than that, that's about it. I'm sure I forgot something, but I'll probably include it in the next one. So hopefully next time you see this, it should be done, painted. Gonna put a tsunami sound and all that in it. And then hopefully I'll have this all the way connected to a circle to run trains, because that's been a long time coming. I can't stand just running stuff back and forth. So anyways, I thought I'd give an update. Thanks for watching.